Eve, I have incredible news.
What?
Lucy and Scott's dental records didn't match.
They didn't match?
They didn't match whoever went down in Scott's plane. It wasn't them. The Florida coroner's office just called the Baldwins with the news.
My God. Scott and Lucy aren't dead.
Now, it's too early to say that. It's not a good sign that someone else was flying Scott's plane. And we haven't heard a word from Scott or Lucy.
But if they weren't in the crash, then we still have hope. Oh, God!
Hey, break it up.
All right.
When's the last time anyone heard from them?
Scott sent a distress signal over Central Florida, and then nothing.
He must have landed safely, because otherwise he would have been in the crash. So that means that we have to look for them in the spot where they last radioed from, right?
That's the plan. Eve, you're being held here as a material witness. What's with all the security?
I'm almost too ashamed to tell you.
Did you try to escape?
No. Julie and I had an argument.
You saw Julie?
We were in adjoining cells, and she had this pen that she dropped. It landed over on my side of the cell, and I picked it up. We started fighting, and...
What?
Somehow, she got stabbed.
Somehow? Eve, you mean you stabbed her?
I didn't mean to. No, we were just wrestling with the pen.
Well, how is she?
She'll live. But unfortunately, now she's going around telling anyone who will listen that I tried to kill her. Eve tried to kill me.
She has a puncture wound to the shoulder. I'm not sure how deep it is.
Eve aimed for my heart, but she missed.
Well, why did she do it?
Eve and I were fighting. I lost my temper and said some terrible things.
That doesn't give her the right to stab you.
When I dropped my pen, instead of giving it back, she stuck it in me.
Okay, look, Julie, I need you to relax, okay? I need to look at that wound.
First my father, now me.
Okay, all stitched up. Everything looks good.
Feeling okay?
A lot better. Thanks.
What about a chest film?
Well, it's just a superficial wound, Frank.
Would it hurt to order one?
No, not at all. Julie, have you had a tetanus shot in the last 5 years?
Oh, I have no idea.
Doctors can take care of everybody except themselves. 1 DT coming up, and I'm ordering a chest x-ray.
Oh, thanks, man.
You know, you're lucky. This could have been a lot more serious.
Well, I backed up when I saw the pen coming at me.
Good reflexes.
But I had a horrible flash of what my father must have felt like when Eve was coming at him.
You know, I never thought you did it before.
That shrine to the dead in her closet sealed it for me.
Well, I would have bet the farm on Ramsey.
Yeah. Ramsey may not be the killer, but he helped Eve cover up, which makes him an accessory.
Listen, do you have any idea what could have motivated her? I mean, it wasn't just your father. You know, there are 4 people that were killed, and the average person on the street isn't a killer.
You should be able to figure that out, man. Aren't you an expert on killers? As I understand it, that's what the Mancuzis are. Murderers and thieves.
Well, I made the choice not to follow my family, Chris. But like you seem to be following along in your father's footsteps. A con man through and through.
Ouch.
You know, Eve put me in the hospital, Chris.
Eve did this to you?
Yeah. With a pen, just like she stabbed my father.
Julie, I find it hard to believe that Eve's goal in life is to get rid of the Devlins with writing utensils.
Julie didn't stab herself.
Were you there? Maybe it was an accident.
Yeah, and maybe when Eve sticks an axe into your head, you'll figure out she's a psychopath.
I want to hear Eve's version.
Think That guy's walking around with blinders
Well,
on.
it's obvious he has feelings for Eve.
If it were anyone else but Ramsey, I'd feel sorry for him.
If Chris can't see Eve for who she is, that's his problem. He can't say he wasn't warned.
Stabbing Julie just doesn't look very good.
Tell me something I don't know.
Were there any witnesses?
No, there were none. Listen, Kevin, you know, I don't want to talk about this anymore, all right? I would rather you go and find Scott and Lucy than sit around here and try and make me feel better.
I've been in touch with the police down there, but the search is at a standstill because of the hurricane.
So what, we just sit around and wait?
No, I put up a reward. I've bought time on TV stations, space in newspapers. I'm trying to get the word out.
Well, that's good, because nothing motivates people like money.
I wish I could stay here and help you sort out this mess with Julie, but I really need to find a way to get into Florida.
I don't want you to stay. I will be worried about you in that weather, though. I mean, how bad's the hurricane?
It's bad. I haven't heard the latest report, but Victor's tracking it on the Weather Channel.
Victor must be happy to know Lucy didn't die.
Did you ever see a 60-plus-year-old man do a backflip?
He didn't.
He did on the inside. He's also terrified about what might have happened.
Go. Lucy needs you. And I would like to know if Scott's okay.
Wish me luck.
Luck. And Kevin?
Hmm.
You take care of yourself, okay?
I will. Same back at you.
Always. Now hurry back.
We can now add reports from Clay, Putnam, and Bradford to the growing list of inland counties in Florida that are bracing for what many are predicting will be one of the worst storms of the decade. Communications are cut off to many cities as Category 3 Hurricane Carmen moves in. It is expected to wipe out everything in its path.
Hey, I could set my watch by you, Scanlon. What's it like being a slave to a drug?
Feels a lot better than being dead.
Oh, that's right. The DL-56 is keeping you alive, right? Yeah. Guess it's just an unfortunate side effect that makes you feel like Superman.
The only unfortunate side effect is seeing you every day.
Now that hurts.
So why don't you do us both a favor and give me a full week's supply instead of doling it out one dose at a time?
Have you over-medicating yourself? No, I don't think so.
Chris, you care. You know, I'm touched. Now give it to me. I want to get back to Julie.
Oh, Julie, yeah. Poor Julie. Sorry about Eve stabbing her like that. Bummer, you know. You know, maybe it would have been better for Julie if you hadn't brought Eve back. I mean, it was you, wasn't it, that kidnapped her from Jasmine Island? I mean, sure, the police brought her in, but it's only because you wrecked your car.
It was a citizen's arrest.
By force?
No more than necessary.
You know, it kills me that you shine me on about Eve, but you trust me implicitly.
You? Yeah, I wouldn't trust you as far as I could throw you.
Really? Well, you trust me enough to give you this.
Because you're greedy.
Because you're blackmailing me.
It's not blackmail.
You threatened to sue Lance Pharmaceuticals, and you don't call that blackmail?
It's called self-preservation, Chris.
You know, speaking of self-preservation, what do you think's to stop me from putting some cyanide into this vial one day? You know, come to think of it, maybe I already have. Guess you never know. Why don't you think about that next time you decide to go postal on Eve?
Frank, I heard about Julie. Is she okay?
Yeah, it wasn't as bad as I imagined.
Oh, from the way you're looking just now, I thought maybe she...
What, got killed? Is that, wishful thinking, Lark?
Give me some credit, all right? What happened?
Eve stabbed her with a pin.
Just like Devlin. And all this time I thought Julie was guilty.
I told you she was being set up.
Do you really think Eve killed everyone?
Yeah, it looks that way.
The attorney's here, Eve. Well, can we get started?
Well, you gonna fill me in, Garcia, or are you gonna play good cop or bad cop today?
The good cop couldn't make it. He was too upset that you tried to kill Julie.
I didn't.
You're holding my client because of Judge Young's orders. You guys know what you can do with anything unrelated.
Counselor, I would say the attack on Julie Devlin's about as related as it gets.
I didn't attack Julie.
The stabbing was an accident, and because there were no witnesses, it's my client's word against Julie Devlin's.
Miss Yang, have you read General Homicide or Boned Up on the Murders? Because that pen trick figures prominently in this case.
Here we go.
Get off it, Eve. You've gotten careless. You skipped town without cleaning out your closet. You caught your boy, Chris Ramsey, trying to get rid of the evidence for you.
First of all, he's not my boyfriend. Second of all, I never even saw any of the stuff that Chris found.
You know, Eve, that attitude you think passes for innocence doesn't.
You are not the DA, detective. You arrest my client for these murders, and your case against Julie Devlin goes up in smoke. The public won't like that, you dropping the ball mid-trial.
That's why God invented the plea bargain.
Oh, no. I'm not bargaining anything because I haven't done anything.
Let's just listen to what Garcia has to say.
If Dr. Lambert confesses to what she's done, we'll drop the death penalty and go for life.
Oh, if you even consider this, you're fired.
You need help, Eve. Look, I don't want to see anybody else die.
That is exactly what's going to happen if Julie goes free. And their deaths will be on your head.
I brought you some magazines.
You get double community service hours for helping someone you dislike?
I thought you might like something to read.
Okay. Thanks. But why the big change of heart?
Julie, I've been scared of you.
Because you believed I was the murderer.
Yeah. I just heard about Eve. Look, I don't expect an apology to make up for everything that's happened between us. Make that everything I've done to you. I thought I should at least try. Julie, I am sorry.
I thought you were behind everything happening to me. I guess we were both wrong.
Yeah. Looks like it.
I didn't show you much compassion after your mother died. And after burying a parent myself, I should have had more sympathy for you.
Come on, Julie. How much sympathy could you have for me? I told the police you killed your father.
Why did you do that?
I was, mixed up. Jealous. I thought you were trying to turn Frank against me. There's no excuse for what I did. I guess it's too late for us to try and take a stab at being friends.
Well, I'd like to take something other than a stab at it.
I'm sorry.
And enough with apologies. We have our work cut out for us, Lark. But nothing worth having comes easy.
Yes, of course I've been watching the news. I understand that your people have their hands full. Listen, I will pay for the airtime if you just send a crew to the location I gave you. Okay. I understand. Thank you. Goodbye.
Will they do a story on Scott and Lucy?
No, Hurricane Carmen has everyone in Florida running for their lives. The news director at WCJB Gainesville tells me he'll be lucky to stay on the air. Hello? No, I haven't read your newspaper, but I've seen it at the checkout stand.
Which one is it? Who's calling?
Scoop McCarthy from the National Inquisitor.
He usually gets it right, Monk. Find out what he wants.
He wants to find a connection between the General Homicide murders and Scott and Lucy's disappearance. I don't have time for this.
Wait. The only bad press is no press at all. The paper may be a rag, but it's a national rag.
Scoop, listen, I'll give you an exclusive if you give me front page cover photos of both Lucy Coe and Scott Baldwin. No, that isn't all I want. I also want a banner headline that reads, "Missing, reward if found, exclamation point." Oh, no, of course. Speak to your boss before I speak to another newspaper. You have my number.
Monk, the news from Florida just gets worse and worse.
What's the latest update?
Hurricane Carmen is now a Category 4, and it may be upgraded to 5 by the time it touches land.
What kind of damage are we talking about?
Catastrophic. If Scott and Lucy are anywhere in a storm of that magnitude, their chances of surviving...
I don't want to know the odds, Victor. What else have you found out?
All the airports are closed. There's a mandatory evacuation of the entire coast. This goes way beyond emergency water in the bathtub.
Did you check with every airport in the state?
Monk, a pilot would have to be insane to fly into that storm.
Well, I have to find some way to get into Florida. If we wait to pick up Scott and Lucy's trail until after the hurricane, we may never find them. The more time we waste here, the less chance they have to survive.
Leave a mint on your pillow in this place?
Ha ha. Gee, I'm starting to feel like the most popular prisoner in Port Charles.
Well, I caught Julie's performance down at the hospital.
Oh, great. Let me guess. I tried to kill her like I tried to kill everybody else, and so on and so forth, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, that was it. That was it, verbatim.
Yeah. Do I know how to call it or what?
I'll tell you this. This coupled with that closet stuff, it looks kind of wretched.
I think that Julie planted that stuff in my closet before she went to jail as sort of like a backup plan in case she got arrested.
She would have had to break in with a toolbox to set it up.
You think I did it?
Eve Lambert, you don't have an artistic bone in your body, okay? This was no popsicle stick and paste job. It was elaborate. It was almost impressive.
Okay. If you don't think that I put all that stuff in my closet, then why did you try to get rid of it? I know. Because you were trying to protect me. I'm grateful.
I'm just sorry I didn't do a better job of disposing of it. Garcia got his hands on way too much.
It's the thought that counts. You're still my hero. And Chris, I want you to know something. It wasn't me. I didn't do it.
Okay. Okay. So when you getting out of here?
Well, cross my fingers as soon as I testify. That is, unless the DA decides to drop the charges against Julie and arrest me for the murders.
What are the chances of that?
It's starting to look like a possibility.
Well, the films came back negative. The wound is superficial. I wrote your prescription for antibiotics. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this is all good news.
I don't want good news in my chart, Matt.
Come again?
Matt, what's the difference between being in custody here or down at PCPD?
So you're asking me to come up with a reason to keep her here?
I don't want to go back, Matt.
And if you don't release her, she doesn't have to.
I've been in jail this whole time while Eve's running around free as a bird. It isn't fair.
Well, that's not my call to make, Julie.
Do not send me back to jail with Eve waiting there. Please, Matt.
Well, I want to make sure that there are no complications. I think it would be best if you stayed around for some further observations.
Thank you, Matt.
You mean not even a commuter airport? Well, what about a private airstrip? Well, how far is that from the location I gave you? No, that's good. Give me that number. Uh-huh. Okay. Thank you. Goodbye.
How close did we get?
Within a couple 100 miles. I'll have to fly in and then drive the rest of the way.
Well, that's fine. There's an old friend of mine who owns a car rental company. I'll see if there's a location nearby. We'll need a four-wheel
What do
drive.
you mean we? You're not going.
You can't possibly do this by yourself. You need a second. I'm your man.
No, Victor, it's too dangerous. Besides, I need you here to man the phones.
Oh, I see. The indispensable Victor gets to sit on his hiney at the all-important command post. Oh, I'm not falling for that again. Let Lee and Gail answer the phones. I've already packed my bag. Besides, I happen to know Florida a whole lot better than you do.
Really? And how could that be?
I did some work at NASA down at the Cape. So now you run along and pack your things, and I'll find out about the car rental. don't forget to bring a raincoat.
Victor, are you sure you understand the enormity of this?
Yes, absolutely. I'm very good at magnitude. The bigger, the better. I want to do anything I can to help find Lucy.
Okay, you can come.
Thank you.
A class 4, you say? Do you think I'll need an umbrella, too?
The correct term is category 4, and you can make as much fun as you like. We are going to find Lucy and Scott.
How?
I have friends among the Maasai. They taught me to track. They said for a white man, I have an astonishing katanga bar. Bush eye.
Tonight, find out what's ahead for Eve. Get a sneak peek at next week's Port Charles at abc.com.